At first, it looked like a normal airport moment, until Jeon Jungkook did something no one saw coming. No one was ready for how big that moment would become. At first glance, it looked like a routine departure. Members of BTS moving through the airport, dressed casually, surrounded by staff, cameras at a respectful distance. Everything felt normal, controlled, predictable. But within seconds, that normal moment turned into something that would spread across the internet at an unbelievable speed. As Jungkook walked through the terminal, there was a subtle shift in his energy. It didn't come with any announcement. No sudden noise. No dramatic change in the environment. It was quiet, almost unnoticeable at first. And then, without warning, he began to move. Not in a rehearsed or performance-driven way, but in a completely spontaneous rhythm. A small dance, light, playful, like someone responding to music only they could hear. It wasn't polished. It wasn't meant to impress. And maybe that's exactly why it did. People around him seemed calm. Some glanced briefly, others continued as usual. Nothing appeared out of place. But the cameras caught it. And once it was captured, there was no stopping what came next. Clips began circulating within minutes. Short edits, slowed versions, zoomed-in reactions. Each one highlighting the same thing. This didn't look like an idol performing. This looked like someone enjoying a moment. That distinction may sound small, but for fans who have followed Jungkook for years, it meant everything. Because moments like this are rare. Over the years, Jungkook has been known for his professionalism, his precision, his ability to deliver perfection on stage. Every movement calculated, every performance refined. That's part of what made him stand out globally. But in this airport moment, none of that structure was present. There were no expectations attached to what he was doing. No audience to impress. No performance to complete. Just a brief, unfiltered expression of energy. And that's where the emotional reaction began. Fans didn't just see a dance. They saw a contrast. They saw someone who has spent years under immense pressure suddenly letting go, even if only for a few seconds. And in that release, there was something deeply human. Something relatable. Something that couldn't be scripted. As the video spread, reactions started pouring in from all over the world. Some viewers described it as pure happiness. Others said it made them unexpectedly emotional. Not because the action itself was dramatic, but because of what it seemed to represent. There was a softness in that moment. A kind of freedom that felt different from anything seen before in similar public appearances. But to fully understand why this resonated so strongly, you have to consider the timing. This moment didn't happen in isolation. It came during a significant phase for BTS. After a long period marked by individual activities, global expectations, and major career transitions, the group entered a new era. Their return brought excitement, attention, and an intense schedule filled with international commitments. The pressure surrounding such a comeback is massive. Every move is watched, analyzed, discussed, and right in the middle of all that intensity, this happened. A quiet, unscripted moment of joy. That contrast is powerful because it reminds people that behind the global image, behind the performances, behind the headlines, there is still a person experiencing emotions in real time. And when those emotions surface naturally, without filters, they create a connection that no planned content can replicate. Midway through watching the clip, many fans started to notice something else. Not just the movement, but the feeling behind it. There was no hesitation, no awareness of being watched. It didn't feel like something done for attention. If anything, it felt like the opposite. Like a private moment that accidentally became public. And that's what keeps people watching. There's a kind of mystery in it. A question that doesn't have a clear answer. Was he simply in a good mood that day? Was it the excitement of traveling? The anticipation of upcoming performances? Or was it something deeper? A reflection of personal growth? Of reaching a point where expression comes more freely? No one can say for certain. And that uncertainty adds to the intrigue. Because when a moment doesn't explain itself, people fill in the meaning with their own emotions. They project their own experiences, their own interpretations. And suddenly, that one small clip becomes something bigger than itself. It becomes a shared emotional experience. As discussions continued, more viewers began revisiting the video, noticing details they hadn't seen before. The way his posture shifted slightly, the relaxed movement of his shoulders, the lightness in his steps. None of it exaggerated, none of it forced, just natural motion. In an environment as controlled as an airport departure involving global artists, even small deviations stand out. And this was more than a small deviation. It was a break from expectation. But what makes this even more interesting is how quickly it spread without any official promotion. No campaign, no scheduled release, no strategy. It grew organically, driven entirely by audience reaction. And that kind of virality is difficult to create intentionally. It happens when something resonates on a deeper level. And clearly, this did. As BTS continued their schedule, likely heading toward important international commitments, the clip remained active online, continuously gaining views, engagement, and attention. New audiences discovered it. Older fans revisited it. And each time, the reaction stayed the same. Curiosity, emotion, connection. There's also something worth noting about how this moment fits into Jungkook's overall image. Known for his dedication and high standards, he has built a reputation around consistency and excellence. Moments like this don't contradict that image. They expand it. They show another side, one that isn't always visible, but is equally important. And that expansion matters, because it allows people to see not just the performer, but the person. As the video continues to circulate, it raises a subtle but powerful question. Why do moments like this matter so much? Why does a few seconds of spontaneous movement generate such a strong global response? The answer might be simpler than expected. In a world filled with constant content, heavily edited visuals, and carefully planned releases, authenticity becomes rare. And when something authentic appears, even briefly, it stands out immediately. People recognize it, even if they can't fully explain why. That recognition leads to connection, and connection leads to engagement. Which brings us to where we are now. A single, unscripted moment at an airport has turned into a global conversation, not because of scale, not because of complexity, but because of feeling, because of timing, because of authenticity. And even now, as more clips continue to surface from different angles, the impact hasn't faded. If anything, it's growing stronger. Each new upload brings fresh reactions, new comments, deeper interpretations. Some focus on the simplicity of the movement, others on the atmosphere around him. But almost everyone agrees on one thing: it feels genuine. There's also a subtle shift happening in how people talk about Jeon Jungkook after this moment. The conversation is no longer just about performance or visuals, but about presence, about how he carries himself when there's nothing to prove. And that shift, while quiet, is significant. As BTS continue their journey across global stages, moments like this will likely remain rare. Not because they can't happen again, but because their power comes from unpredictability. You can't recreate something that wasn't planned in the first place. So if you've watched the clip once, watch it again. Not for the movement, but for the feeling behind it. Because sometimes, what stays with us the longest isn't what we see clearly, but what we almost missed. And maybe that's what makes this moment unforgettable. If you felt something while watching this, you're not alone. And if you're seeing this for the first time, look closer, because there might be something in this moment that others didn't notice.